welcome back to our podcast. Today we are so excited and kind of a little bit tired because it is 10 p.m. It is way later than we usually film because we just got done watching a marathon podcast from New Heights, from Taylor Swift. We are so excited to talk about new stuff for the first time in a really long time. We are also going to be talking about Tristan's love story and touching a little bit about football, fantasy football one-on-one for beginners. So welcome to episode 3, The Life of a Fantasy Football Newbie. Really quickly, I'm Leighton. Wanted to clarify, this is a Superman hoodie, not a patriotic one. Jake, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Jake, and I'm feeling like a daydream dressed like a nightmare. like this whole day has been so amazing and fun, but I just got back from a workout and just had to throw on whatever the hell I had on, and my hair is so disheveled. Like, I'm just ready to go.
And I'm Noah, your, I guess, friendly neighborhood Alabama fan.
Krista.
And I'm Krista, and I'm looking for the Christmas tree because it feels like Christmas morning. It's just been such a great day.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What a day. I mean, what a 48 hours. What a week. I mean, it's been absolutely insane. So yeah, guys, anything new happen recently that you guys want to talk about? I don't know, maybe like a brand new album called The Life of a Showgirl?
Everybody take the clown noses off. We don't have to worry about the countdown being for a merch drop or a documentary.
I'm sure merch is coming.
Yes, but it's not only merch. That's the big thing.
That's right. Exactly.
I was so scared.
Oh my god, I feel like we can all just relax now. Like the payoff was so worth it.
Mm-hmm. It's no longer 100%. A pre-order. We've all pre-ordered officially.
Yeah, we all have
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we had the pre-order, and then today, Wednesday, as we're recording, we had the 4 Doors countdown, and then that drop.
Yeah. I mean, there was a ton of prediction and speculation and everything in the past 24 hours. I mean, obviously, like with any drop or anything associated with Taylor, and especially the color orange, a lot of people thought it was karma. She said on the podcast, which, by the way, if you're at this point in the episode and you haven't watched the entirety of the New Heights podcast yet, first of all, we love your priorities, but maybe rethink them. We definitely watched New Heights first. But this is 100% a spoiler zone from beyond here. So please go watch that first. But Taylor talked about how it was a really energetic part of her life. And that was what the color orange was. Do you buy that? I felt like she was being a little coy when Jason asked her why it was orange.
The real answer is her first answer, that it's just a color that she really likes. It was a color she needed to throw in there. She needed to kind of finish the rainbow out.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was a little coy. But then I'm always suspicious of anything that she does.
Well, I mean, I think also like the fact that like this album is going to explore what's behind the curtain. Like, I feel like she has to be coy in regards to that question.
That is true. I do personally wish that it leaned a little bit more into the mint than orange, but I think, we're definitely in the choosy beggars porn. So one of the things that I was thinking about when she was talking about, returning to collaborating with Shellback and Max Martin, and the fact that, they maybe I might be about to get myself canceled, which ironically is one of the album tracks. One of the things is that when I was listening to the playlist that she put together today, I was kind of like, oh, right, Max Martin and Shellback, because, it's We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, 22, Shake It Off. And I almost was getting myself into like this almost disappointed part. And then I kind of had to sit back and be like, wait, hold on. You're only in this state of mind because these are her most popular songs. They're everywhere. And so they've gotten to the point in your brain where they're like the overplayed ones. Like 22 doesn't hit the same way for me anymore just because of the sheer amount of times I've heard it. And so I was kind of looking at that as opposed to I can do it with a broken heart and maybe like Bejeweled and kind of, almost feeling like, oh, I want them to be more like that. But then it kind of dawned on me that it's going to be like that. It's going to be even better because to make legendary songs like the ones that get overplayed to the point where 22 still regularly gets played now.
Because it's a banger.
Because it's a banger. And it's just like, okay, so I think they were like right on when they're like, they're going to be instant iconic things. And the fact that I don't listen to those songs regularly anymore is a testament to how amazing those songs are, not a negative.
This album is going to be her magnum opus. It is not only going to be the bangers that she's produced before with Max Martin and Shellback. One of the things in the New Heights podcast that really stuck out to me is when she was talking about the concept of the album with Max. And Max said, like, the storytelling on Folklore is some of the most amazing, incredible, beautifully woven storytelling. And we're not letting go of that. So it's not just we're getting bangers for the sake of bangers. We're getting incredibly obsessive, like, glitter gel pen. We'll talk about that as well. Like, glitter gel pen melodies and beats and bops with the intricate, beautiful storytelling of her more intimate albums. Her, oh my God, what's the word that she said about Folklore and Evermore that Travis tried to rag Jason about? The storytelling from her more esoteric albums weaved into more mainstream poppy, probably rocky sounds. Like, if we can get some of that back and have a mix of that, this is just like her craft at its best, all put together in one. And this is no offense to Taylor. I don't know if that's happened before, if we've had the combination of the beats and the storytelling at the same time, like it sounds like we will on this album.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, where I was thinking she's talked about how every album she feels that she has to reinvent herself, right? And, we've seen it progress through different genres, different styles, whereas Tortured Poets was very poetic, right? And I think it would be easy to dismiss this as just being like 1989 again, right? Another pop, but based off of exactly what you were saying, I'm like, this is a whole reinvention, right? We're about to see history be made.
Well, I mean, also kind of going off of that, like, as she was discussing, like, her conversations with, I think it was with Max and Shellback, which she was talking about how she was looking at this from the perspective of, like, what she just put on with the Eras Tour and how she wants this whole album to kind of be the peak of that and, like, top it. I feel like combining these two aspects is, like, the way to obtain that.
I think there's going to be a big contrast too, because when I think about what she's saying versus what we're seeing when she talks about the fact that this is going to be behind the scenes, right? From not when she's on stage with the Eras Tour, but what's happening behind the scenes. But also that it's like upbeat and, nostalgic even. So it's so interesting because she also talked about how exhausted she was feeling and how much of a toll it took on her body and everything going on. So I'm really interested to see how that contrast really plays in not only the lyrics, but the music and the sound of it as well.
This is our Eras Tour documentary. I've got a feeling we're not getting a literal behind-the-scenes documentary of the tour.
Ooh.
This is what it's representing.
Hot take.
Hot take. I think that's a really good point, Noah, with what you were saying about how it's the Eras Tour. And I think that kind of ties back to what we were just talking about with like the depth of the lyrics and things like that, because the Eras Tour was such a huge, sparkly, it was a firework, right? A firework that everyone could see. Everyone was talking about it. It was the biggest thing in the entire world for a year and a half, something like that. But at the same time, what Taylor was talking about today was the extreme detail, absolutely every detail. And so balancing that, sparkly, bright, huge with every single fine detail. I think when she compared the album to the Eras Tour, I think with everything we're hearing, that it's a perfect analogy of fitting so many complex, beautiful things into a banger.
On top of the fact that
I have so much more of an appreciation for this album to knowing the amount of work that put into this, that she was flying back and forth from every point in Europe to Sweden to record. She was just not, she could have taken the time off. She was still going back to these places to explore with Travis. There's a maxim that I've heard that in the world you have three things in life: you have sleep, social life, and work. Did she just ever sleep? Was she just chugging Ghost all the time? What's her favorite flavor of Ghost? We now need to find out.
Yeah, and that's after already writing a double album that she's released during the tour and then reworked her whole tour on her break. It's insane. Right. So she's technically written 3 albums while on that tour.
That's just insane. Yeah,
And then on top of that, the emotional toll that I'm sure Tortured Poets Department took on her, because that's that whole album is essentially a therapy session, just crammed into itself. Dealing with all those emotions, healing from that, I can't imagine.
Well, first of all, I mean, the emotions that spurned the Tortured Poets Department happened on the tour. So experiencing that for the first time, writing about it, having to relive it whenever she was doing the surprise songs, while also meeting Travis, starting a new life, recording a new album. Girl is impossible in the best way. She's
on top
not
of that,
human.
I think the past year and a half is the most real Taylor we've seen. She's finally okay, I can be myself, and I'm unashamedly going to be me. And I think
said this to you all behind the scenes, that I think that this interview was the most earnest, least media trained interview she's ever given. She's easygoing, she's witty, she's making jokes, she's not thinking about what anybody else is gonna, react to. It is so unabashedly herself.
Tree was nowhere to be found.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And I have more to say on that later. But before I derail us, how are we feeling about 12 songs? Obviously, we're spoiled at this point. Tortured Poets had 32, 32, 31. And so when I first, I will admit, I did see the leaks, and of course, turns out the leaks were right. There were only 12. And so I was I know that I'm very ungrateful, and I know I don't deserve more, but I want more than 12. But after listening to the podcast, of course, I'm always going to be greedy and want more, but I now understand it, where, she was talking about how Tortured Poets was pretty much word vomit. It was a brain dump. It was everything she was feeling. And this is the most perfectly crafted, this is edited to perfection type thing. And so from that concept, I get it. And I like that she said that there's no more songs coming. I don't know if I believe her, because I believe nothing. But, it was nice of her to address that.
I would rather have 12 perfectly crafted songs, knowing that there is so much intention and thought behind the lyricism, the meanings, the order behind it all. Word vomit is great, so you absolutely have to get it out sometimes. I would just rather have something that is so curatedly perfect for me. Like, this is exactly the experience I need the listener to have.
Yeah. And I'm proud of her. To have that self-control is not easy, especially for a creative.
And I feel like also... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, especially coming off something like Tortured Poets, it would be so easy to go right back into that.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like, I don't think we truly realized how far back this album was planned. I think we saw bits and pieces of that from the podcast, like with what she was telling Travis or Jason about the Orange Door at the very last tour. I did not catch that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I think that just kind of, it's starting there. Well, it probably started before, but like from how far back it has started to like now, I think this whole album just kind of is a puzzle that's finally built.
One thing that they talked about Easter eggs, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But one of the things that I kind of wished she would have talked about was, are there ever Easter eggs that just don't work out? And because I could definitely see that, Taylor has this Rolodex of ideas in her head, or probably knowing her in her diary, where she's like, okay, I want to have this, life of a showgirl. I want to have this poetry thing. And so she drops Easter eggs for that type of concept as soon as she starts thinking of them. And obviously, the way her Easter eggs are so nuanced, they just come off as normal things until you look back and then you're like, oh yeah, they mentioned this city that the area code is 812. Of course, how did we not see that then? Right? And so it's so easy that if it never comes to fruition, it's just like, okay, that was just a normal sentence. That wasn't an Easter egg. So I really
NYU graduation speech. That was my master's year, by the way, that she got her honorary doctorate. I cannot believe still that entire speech was just one whole Easter egg.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm looking at the track list right now. I'll read over all the names, but I've got a theory at the very least on one or two of them. So track 1 is The Fate of Ophelia. Number 2 is Elizabeth Taylor.
You know what that's about? Do you know what Ophelia is?
The Fate of Ophelia?
Yeah.
I do not. I'm intrigued about that one.
I was making fun of Travis on the podcast.
4 is Father Figure. 5 is Eldest Daughter. 6 is Ruin the Friendship. 7 is Actually Romantic. 8 is Wish List. 9 is Wood. 10 is Canceled. 11 is Honey. And 12 is title track The Life of a Showgirl, featuring Sabrina Carpenter, who was on tour opening with her for like a third of the Eras tour. So that, to me, that almost makes it scary. Like, you are now holding someone else beholden to keep this secret with you for so long. And Sabrina has done so much since she was an Eras tour opener.
Yeah, she's done.
Maybe that was the Easter egg she had on her site August 12th and August 13th too. Maybe that was her little Easter egg. Like, hey, maybe I got a little footnote here. But my big thing that I'm super excited for is Actually Romantic. It's going to be the Travis song, and it's going to be the last one we get about a boyfriend ever, because they just seem so damn happy together. It's so good. It will be the last one, and it is going to be the tearjerker song of the album.
I mean, can we just talk about how much he was gushing over the way he was looking at her during that podcast was and when she was getting emotional, you could see him getting emotional. And he was just so proud, holding that album forever for her, just making sure everyone
the way he was holding it, like I put in our chat, like it was the fingertips. He was holding it in front of his mic. He was so proud that he gets to love the person who made this. Like I was like, oh my God.
And he
What
kept
gets
saying,
me more
is the
single in my
story
life.
about when she got her master's back. And,
Oh.
her mom calls her and she's crying and she walks into his room and he's playing video games. He turns around and is like, boys, I gotta go. Drops everything for her.
Everything.
That is a man.
That
That is a man who supports
Yeah.
you,
That is a
loves
man.
you.
well, she even
Hey.
said, she wrote about all of these songs, and ever since she was a teenager, and now she's
Yeah.
finally living the dream that
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
wanted for herself. Is just, so amazing.
Kind of going off of what you just said, Jake, about how he is the man. No, yeah. I could also see like father figure being a song about him as well, and being like maybe a song that's like
Hot
how
take.
he is the man that like she's dreamed of, and now like she could see him
He's a
being
father
the father,
figure
yeah, the father
her
of
kids.
her, exactly, yeah.
Aww.
I did not
Papa
think
Scott,
that.
Mama
No, I'm
Andrea
going to be really
upgrading.
sad if it's not.
I'm so
I'm
sorry.
not ready. I'm not ready.
Well, also the news about Papa Scott and Mama Andrea having a very interesting medical summer. Holy crap, I hope
Yeah.
they're both okay.
Yeah, I know, that was crazy.
Yeah, she was Nurse Tay all summer, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Which I think is just also like, I get very happy and excited whenever we get the little glimpses that she's able to have like a normal life. Like, obviously no one wants their parents to go through heart surgery. My
Yeah.
dad just had a quadruple bypass, no one wants to go through that, but just getting some glimpses into her being able to have a normal life, and for all of that to have happened and we didn't know about that. And like, I think it's just so wonderful to see that she's able to do those things, and it just makes me happy. Obviously, happy because her parents are okay. But
Well, as Travis and Taylor said on New Heights, Travis is so happy that like she can get back to like doing hobbies that like are genuinely her. As Taylor had to elaborate, she's back on her grandma shit. Like, of course she makes sourdough and she sews and she paints and of course that's what she does in her spare time.
she makes purses for her nieces. Oh my god!
I'm waiting for the funfetti sourdough.
Right? Can we just say she's not just in her granny era, but also in her Aunt Tay era?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
She clearly has such a great relationship with the whole family. Like the fact that Jason is allowed to joke like her cats are poisonous.
Yeah. And can we talk about that intro of his? Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
That was so good. Like,
all the
praise. That was just amazing.
Yeah, I felt that, and I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I felt like the dynamic was just family the entire time. Like that type of conversation, that type of dynamic is 100% how I interact with like my brother-in-law. And, seeing that type of thing, it wasn't just like, oh, this is my brother's girlfriend. It's like, oh no, this is my sister-in-law and I'm sending her memes and, this is an inside joke between all of us and stuff like that. Yeah.
And can we not do that right now?
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Yeah. I think I put that in all caps in our chat. Like that was so funny.
Oh, she's channeling her inner Kai. I love it.
Yeah. Before we get too derailed.
Yeah.
What do we think about the artwork? Besides, oh my God, Taylor,
Mama,
stunning.
I've got nothing. I've got nothing.
Poem. What do we think the poem is about?
Baby girl, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't even thinking about the poem. I'm just like, wow. My jaw dropped. It's just like
stunning.
Leighton as a whole dropped.
Yeah,
I have no words.
Someone sees something that they think is attractive and they go, "Woo!" like that.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny. Yeah.
Like, whoa, Miss Tay.
Yeah. I was texting with one of the finalists for Tristan's show, Adrian, little plug there. But I was texting with her and we were just like, I'm suddenly questioning everything. This is so hot, girl. Like everything, like the shimmer, the jewels, the outfits, the aesthetic, and just she is an athlete. I'm just gonna say that's an athlete's body.
And
I'm
also the
on Travis.
photographers she used, right, with Mert and Marcus, taking her back to Reputation, talking about how much she loved that and wanted to bring them back. They did a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like I could not
I
to
wish
say
I
that you
could
could see
stand
this
you,
coming, but watching her like the Bejeweled music video and her splashing around in the martini glass and the Lavender Haze music video with her kind of risque in like the lavender water, like she was ready for like a risque album cover like this.
Yeah.
And maybe Sabrina poked her with a little influence on this whole thing too.
Do we think? Okay, so everyone knows like the infamous, like the picture from the Eras tour, because her booty was looking so good, and she posted it so many times. Which honestly, I get it 1,000%. Do we think that was an Easter egg for it?
No, I think she just has a great ass and she just want to show it off. Girl power.
I mean, hell yeah, as she should.
I know. I'm like, there's been multiple times I've been like, would it be sus if I just got a picture and hung that up on the wall?
Absolutely not.
It's just like
not at all.
It's fire. Yeah. So I mean, we've touched on this a little bit. This is going to be a glitter pen album. They've talked about how it's upbeat, infectious. I thought one of the sweetest things was that she still took time to emphasize that this is no exception to her writing about her current life. Even though she kind of talked about how it's a persona almost, she was like, my life's a lot more upbeat now. And oh God, no one heard my voice just crack there. But like I teared up. I was like, oh my gosh, her life's more upbeat now. Yeah. Just because it's so lovely to see it reflected in her work, that she is as happy as she seems, that she is, feeling that infectious joy. And that was really what it was.
Yeah. She looks happier.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
For someone who's gone through so much pain, intentionally or not, all the conspiracy theories about how many boyfriends she's gone through just for the music, all the heartbreak, all the pain that she's had to pour into songs, for her to like just glow as much as she is right now, feels so deserving for her.
Yeah, 100%.
And can we just give a shout out to our girl and how much football she's learned, all the terminology? Like, oh my gosh.
I love the analogy of the podcast of like, we do the same thing, just different terminology. Like, it's my dressing room, it's the locker room. I'm on stage, she's on the field.
So
like,
funny.
I love that they know how, like, same but different.
Yeah, agreed. So good.
I loved the whole first date story where she was like, so what was it like to look up and look into your mother's eyes in the Super Bowl?
Golden.
And he was just like, oh, sweet baby girl.
Also,
but I also thought
volumes on Travis that there were so many people going to bat for him without even having to do a thing. Like,
I know.
Yes, I love
I mean, obviously, I've been a big fan of both of the Kelseys, or all of the Kelseys, for longer than Taylor even knew they existed. But I thought that even just the way that he responded to her in the episode, talking about that and like saying like, it's okay that you don't know that two offenses don't play each other. It's okay that you didn't know that they were on the offense. And I thought, because like my reaction right here was, oh, sweet baby girl, that's not how you play football. But that wasn't his reaction. His reaction was like, oh, so actually here's this kind of like nuanced thing,
Mhm.
and being like really excited to tell her, but in a very much non-judgmental, like there wasn't, I didn't feel like there was ever something, and obviously we weren't there, but I based off of everything, it wasn't ever much like, oh, you don't know about this sport, let me tell you because I'm an expert. It's more like, you know, you've totally got this, I'm just gonna fill in a few gaps for you type thing.
Another green
No,
flag.
no
That just means he's going to be a great dad.
No mansplaining.
It's
Yeah.
total joy that she's trying to engage in his life. And again, it's not like why don't you know about this, or how could you not know about this, or you sound so stupid when you talk about it. It's
Right.
yes, I love that you're connecting it this way. Let me just tweak you here and there, and this is how the concept comes together.
Yeah.
The part where she was like, "Oh my gosh, we drafted Xavier Worthy." That, oh my gosh, that was gold. Like,
She's like, I
Yeah.
swear.
yeah, like that was amazing.
Yeah. No, I felt there was multiple times throughout the episode where they talked about how they had learned about each other's interests and how they had found a way to mesh their worlds that are so different. It's probably worth mentioning, I just finished reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and that's like the whole like world clash is like a big part, but it's very easy to look at their lives, and that's been a lot of the criticism of their relationship, which they talked about, of what on earth are they talking about? And
Stretch and fold. They're talking about sourdough stretch and fold. He
Yeah.
is baking with her.
he knew what they were called.
I know.
Just the way that they, very clearly are invested in each other and they love each other for who they are. And, it doesn't really matter that their worlds are so different. They found the commonality in there. They found a way to relate to each other. And it would have been so easy to say, like we live in totally different worlds. But they were just like, no, look, we're going to live the same world.
I
If
think
he
also
wanted to, he would.
Yeah, exactly. I think another thing that kind of flew under the radar is the way that they like lift each other up. Like, I feel like she very much so encouraged him in like with the vocabulary stuff, like, or even just like him knowing stuff. Like, she was like, "No, you know this. You're good. You got this. Like, show some pride that you know this, and you are smarter than you're like letting the world perceive you." And like that, I was like, "Girl, yes, encourage him, and encourage your man."
Jason started, laughing about esoteric, and it would have been so easy for Taylor to explain it, but she's like, no. Travis knows what esoteric means.
Yeah, yep. Exactly.
And she was like, go, show him, show the world, you know what esoteric means. And I think she made a comment, I don't know if she completely finished her sentence, of, being like, it's so easy to dismiss him as like a dumb jock type thing. But she's like, no, he knows these things. He knows that Lion King is Hamlet. The reason that he wasn't saying those things before is just because he didn't have the exposure. But it's not because he's dumb. It's just because that was what he was exposed to. And now he can tell you about Hamlet. Not because he read it, but
Meanwhile, there's Jason. Can we not do that right now?
About jumping into a flaming table.
He's just one of the 4-year-olds. He's just a big kid at heart.
Yeah. No. I could probably talk for 14 hours about this entire thing.
I want to quickly poll everyone, because there's one thing we didn't talk about album covers, that we had the second drop today with the 4 doors, and it's the 4 CD covers that we have. The Sweat and Vanilla Perfume edition, the It's Frightening edition, the It's Rapturous edition, and the It's Beautiful edition. And I gotta get people's thoughts on if you have a gut check favorite.
The perfume.
Yeah, okay. I think I'd have to go with the perfume one too.
I think they have to all be like lyrics or references.
Oh, I would bet. I don't know. I'm on It's Beautiful. I just think like for her to just totally own her body and own herself like that and put it all on display is just fantastic.
That's what I was gonna say. It's Rapturous is my favorite so far. It looks amazing.
She looks like she's at the like Copacabana with all the boa feathers and the black, like jet black bangs bob wig and the dramatic lipstick. She looks like such a classic showgirl there.
Yeah.
Do we think there were Easter eggs dropped on the podcast tonight?
1,000%.
Oh, yeah. Things that in 5 months would be like, oh, why didn't we think of that?
Every single number that was said, I was just like
the
putting in the chat. 16 months.
We talked about numerology. Yes.
Yeah. I've kind of gotten to the point with my Swiftie life. It could also be that I'm more busy in life now than I am when 1989 came out, but I've kind of just decided that I'm not going to figure these out. I'm not going to be the person who figures these out, and I'm just happy to go along for the ride. So I will take note. I'm just going to watch for them to turn into things and just be happy about that and not worry about figuring it out.
Speaking of numbers, what was everyone's mastermind scores?
Oh, I haven't checked mine. I was busy writing the podcast.
I don't think I have mastermind.
I re-downloaded it for tonight.
Yeah, I didn't check mine either. That's why I was like, need to check 51. That score. 51.
What do y'all think Ruin the Friendship is about?
Do you think it's about like friendships, or do you think it's like a screw it moment?
And I mean, could it be about Blake?
That's exactly what my thought was. No. I can't decide if it's like a...
I'm gonna be so sad if it is.
Yeah, I mean, same. I don't... With what the album's going for, I don't think it would be. I feel like that'd be more of a reputation type song. But
it's something that was happening behind the scenes.
Right. That's just about what I was about to say, yeah. So I think it could go either way. It could be something... It could also be another Travis song. Because that was my first thought. I was like, oh, we're about to get another ovulation song. Yay. That sounded so sarcastic. I was not supposed to be sarcastic. Like, I was like I looked over at my wife. I was like, ruin another friendship, huh?
Right. That's where I'm going, and I'm gonna. Exactly. That's what I want it to be.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what's the one about Cash? Is it Cash Cow? It's not Cash Cow. It's not Cash Cow. No. What's the one about money? I was thinking that one's about Blake, but I can't even remember the title. So, Taylor Swift album.
The wish list?
Oh, wish list with the two money signs?
$2 signs?
Yeah, so never mind. That wasn't it. That was the one I was thinking of. Yeah. Maybe canceled. Maybe canceled. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am hoping that Ruin the Friendship is more about a screw it moment where you're just like, you know what?
Just a full-on Zayden Ryerson, Violet Sorrengail moment.
I get that. I know the names. I've never read the book.
Oh.
I'm not a big fantasy. My fantasy version is fantasy football. Not
those
fantasy
were so good. All right.
Yeah. Anyways.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was choosing to announce on New Heights versus one of the typical ways. And I personally love it. Granted, I think we're all biased here because we're all big fans of football and New Heights to begin with. A lot of people were not so happy, but I thought I saw a TikTok, which it would have been on Monday, where it was like, guys, there's no way she's choosing to do it on New Heights. Do you know the amount of people who have to edit it, upload it? Like, she's not trusting those people. They're not in her circle. And I was so happy when it turned out that they were wrong, because my first initial thought was, no, that's her family, and the Kelseys run a ship so similar to Taylor, like, you know, Brandon and Jake, like they're good people, and the Kelseys surround them with good people, and they protect her. Like, I was like, no. I think the fact that she's going to do this is just another bit of proof of, like, what Jake was saying. Like, this is her last boyfriend. This is her family. This isn't a, you know, no dissing previous relationships. But
Well,
this
some.
this is different. Yeah.
To some.
Okay. Yeah. But you know what? I'm not like some of their mothers. I'm not going to go out of my way to shade them.
We won't mention their names, but
It just comes naturally sometimes.
exactly.
But what were your guys' thoughts on choosing to reveal it on New Heights?
I love that she did it.
Yeah.
And if it pissed people off, I love the people it pissed off. I love that for them. That's amazing. Good. And to your point, I think that at the end of the day, this just goes to show how invested she is in her man, in this partnership, in, you know, they're sharing success, sharing the spotlight. And I love it for them.
Yeah,
I get the
100%
Kelseys have
agree.
created such a safe space for her.
Yes.
It almost made too much sense for her to do it on there.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Yeah, no, 100%. I also think, like, I think this is good for football too, because it's bringing in new fans. Like, if you like grew up in a sport family and you've already been exposed to sports so much, but you're not necessarily in them, like, you're probably not going to be getting into it. But like, this is just a whole new demographic getting involved and learning and like jumping in head first, pretty much. Like, it's amazing.
I love that she said maybe, yes, she brought the girls there, right? But it was the sport that kept them there. I thought that really resonated with, again, like, hey, yeah, my people may be watching, but it's you all and all the hard work you're putting in that's keeping them there, which I think was a huge compliment.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay. So we've talked a little bit about this already. And again, like I said, I could yap about this forever. Their relationship. I don't think I thought we would ever get this type of access to their personal lives. I've loved how, you know, just like everything that she does, so masterfully done, of we got such insight, we got such personal elements without compromising anything about their personal relationship. Like the fact that we got to learn about his obsession with otters, right? And that dynamic, you touched your mic. Her, you know, ribbing him on that. And I thought the whole thing where she starts telling Jason, she's like, no, he doesn't want just any otter. He wants an otter who knows that he saved, like, that entire thing. I was like, they're married 80-year-olds. Like, this is not just some regular relationship. This is it.
And welcome to Taylor's Storytelling 101. I love it.
Yeah, that was so amazing.
Well, Leighton, are we not trying to kickstart a relationship here on our own podcast?
We are, which we have an update because we have a new interview. We have our final interview to show you this week. This was actually pre-filmed, so we're going to jump to wearing different clothes in a second. But we have an interview with Becca for Tristan's love story, as you guys may remember. Before our lives got massively changed this week, we were planning on completely focusing on this, where our friend Tristan on the admin team had an extra ticket to go see Gracie Abrams at Red Rocks and put a TikTok out saying who wants to go from the Denver area. It ended up going viral. We had ton of applicants, and these are the final ones. Now, I will say, in real time, the concert happened yesterday. And I know who was picked.
Yeah, Lynn
And
is not telling us anything.
Yeah, she's not spilling
I'm
any
not
tea.
letting Tristan. I am policing Tristan's chats.
Can't confirm.
Yeah, the second anyone asks him a question, I'm like, no, don't tell him.
It's working.
Because
I've heard nothing.
because you're going to want to stick around for Tristan's interview. Things kind of got a little crazy with the final selection. Things kind of maybe went off script.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I'm just saying you should watch the interview and you should prepare to tune in next week for Tristan's interview and hear how everything went. But right now, let's hear from Becca. Hello. We're here with Becca for Tristan's love story. Becca, do you want to say something? Introduce yourself.
Sure. Thanks for having me today. I'm originally from outside Detroit, so go Lions. But I live in I live in Denver now, and I'm a big Swiftie. So I'm excited to be on my podcast debut with you all.
Yeah, well, you're in fantastic company because other than swapping out the team, that like perfectly describes all of us. So we're all really big Swifties as well. So let's dive into the questions. First question. Recently, the world has found out that most men think they could land a plane with no training. What's something that you're unreasonably confident about despite having zero expertise in it?
I think this is going to be a really random answer, but I really think I'd be a great game show host.
Ooh. I love that.
That takes a certain personality, though.
Yeah, but I think it would be so fun because you get to just make jokes with people all day. So
yeah, I don't know if I have the stamina to keep that up, like that pep. So that's amazing. Yeah. I love that.
I probably would leave after the day and not want to talk to anyone.
Right.
But I think it'd be a fun job. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's me. So we're also really big fans of the Indiana Fever and just women's sports in general. And recently we found out that some of them put ranch on their spaghetti and A1 on their cheddar cheese. So what food would you eat that would probably horrify most people?
I do have a thing. I've been doing it since I was little, but I like to put honey on my mac and cheese.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's actually really good. Especially if you're having cheddar, it does cut the cheddar with a little sweetness. So
that is
interesting.
Very interesting.
I've never heard of that before.
No.
You do hot honey sometimes or just like regular honey?
I'm not really into a lot of spice, so just regular, but you could.
That is interesting. I can kind of I could see how the sweetness would emphasize yeah. I would have never thought of that, but it's not it's not diabolical.
I just have too much of a sweet tooth, so I'm like, more sugar.
I need to look TLDR on how you found that combination.
I mean, growing up, I feel like you eat mac and cheese a lot, and then I always had chicken nuggets with honey. And so sometimes they were right there at the table, and I was like, why not?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would recommend.
Well, for our next question, what do you think is the most romantic sport and why? We'll give you bonus points if you can defend a completely ridiculous choice.
This is such a hard question. I feel like there's a lot of sports that are sexy, but not a lot that are romantic. But I mean, this is not really clever, but I'm going to go with ice skating just because, I mean, it's beautiful. Their partners are skating together. It's so passionate. I feel like all of the pairs are already dating anyways because I don't know how you could do that with your partner and not just fall in love. So
Yeah, no, they have to have like amazing chemistry. It's
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
watching them and like Googling in the corner if there's any fan fiction written about them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of those romance books about like skating and hockey. So.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, we know about all the hockey ones, but
Yeah.
ice
We're
skating,
big
that's-
fans
we're
of
gonna have to
hockey
look into
romance.
that.
Yeah, someone needs to write that one.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of romance, what's something that most people think is romantic, but you actually think is a red flag?
This might call out some of the people I know, but do you,
I love that for
are you
you.
ever on Instagram and someone makes like an anniversary post and they're like, blah, 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 I love you so much. But then they'll say something like, this year was so hard, or like, I didn't know if we were going to make it, and stuff like that. And you're
Yes.
like, why are you sharing this with everybody?
Right?
Yeah, it's the ones that you read and you're just like, so do you hate your spouse?
Exactly.
It's just like there's those people on like YouTube or TikTok like Matt and Abby that every time they do something they're like, my wife had major surgery and it was so hard on me because I couldn't
Now
sleep
I'm
in my
sleeping
own
in the
bed.
closet on a mattress.
Right.
Yeah.
She wasn't there to make me food.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
almost like it's out of obligation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
Mhm.
so
no
sad.
good.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I agree.
And you're like,
Yeah.
ooh. And then you just want to know what happened. So
Right. And usually they
Yeah.
divorce in a couple of years.
yeah, I'm like, should you have broken
Then you,
up?
yeah, you start seeing the passive aggressive stories,
Right.
and then you're like, oh yeah, something's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm definitely on board. Last main question. What is something that you've done or accomplished in life that you're really proud of, but you never get to brag about?
I don't know if this is accomplished for me, but I really love being an aunt. Obviously, they're not my children, but I have 3 little nephews. They're 4, 6, and 8. So I just love being able to like be another supportive person in their life and help them grow. So
That's so sweet.
I love that answer. I personally very much relate to that answer. So, yeah, I feel like having that extra layer of support is just so vital for the kids. And so absolutely kudos to you for stepping in
being
and
a fun aunt. And
yeah, I think kids need that, you know, having someone who, you know, obviously is going to keep them safe, but you know, gets to break the rules a little bit, you know. I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
be a little fun.
Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and cue up the lightning round. Jake, can I have 60
And the shot
seconds?
clock's ready whenever you are.
He's so good at this.
All
right.
right.
Okay. And go ahead. So the first Taylor Swift song that pops into your head.
Ivy.
Oh, your childhood sports hero.
Childhood sports hero. Mia Hamm.
Go-to snack during a game or concert.
Those are very different places. Nachos.
One Taylor Swift lyric that you would put on your tombstone.
Had a marvelous time ruining everything.
Yes.
Most overrated player in the NFL right now.
I don't want people to be mad at me. Joe Burrow.
Oh,
Would you rather meet Gracie Abrams or Sabrina Carpenter?
Gracie.
And what team do you irrationally despise?
Ooh, that is a tough one. The Packers.
What sport would Taylor secretly dominate? And you can still answer it.
Gymnastics.
Good one.
okay.
I that is the hardest lightning round I have ever done because I just wanted to be like, yes, yes, yes to every single one. And then I was just like, I can't do that. That's burning through time. Oh my gosh.
So much to say.
Yeah.
So little
I
time.
agree with the Joe Burrow one. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is a wrap on the questions. I cannot thank you enough for being willing to come on here, and good luck. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'll be in touch either way, and we'll see you around.
It was so nice to meet you, Becca.
Yeah,
Nice to
you too.
meet
Thanks for having
you.
me.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god, that was such a good interview. No, in reality, we walked away from all of the interviews being like, how on earth is Tristan going to choose? Because
Seriously.
absolutely all of the contestants were phenomenal, and I don't know how you just like drop yourself into a completely new environment and just absolutely nail an interview like that. Yeah, I can also confirm, much to my chagrin and dismay and perpetual nightmares, it did take Tristan a very long time to pick because it was so difficult. And he was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to pick. Am I just supposed to like flip a coin? And I'm like, I don't know. Sure. Seems like a you problem, though. I'm glad I don't have to pick.
Yeah, as a single guy myself, I am both incredibly envious and also like schadenfreudely like, I'm so glad I'm not sitting in his position.
No.
Between
You're
some
next.
amazing women.
You are next, Jake. Buckle
I mean,
up.
do I not have the love of my life in my lap right now? As if you guys better be watching on social or on YouTube that I bring up my
Juniper! He's so cute. Oh my god.
If anybody in the Boston area wants to hang out with a single dog dad, just let me know.
Love it.
Do you want to tell us where you're located, Jake, so we can start getting that going for you?
Well, do I have to pick a concert or a sports game? We have to figure out the event that they're buying for.
Boston girls, get ready.
Yeah. Isn't there a Boston Jonas Brothers concert coming up? You could buy tickets to that
in like 2 weeks.
Oh.
Perfect.
Yeah,
timing.
I can't turn around another one of
on
these.
September 7th. I'll have to look up some concerts probably in October. I'm sure that I bet there's probably a good amount of concerts in October that
that would be a better time
for season 2 of the Playbook love story.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, and this is 100% my fault. I took it to the extreme sometimes. That was way more work than I was planning. So I don't think I can turn around another one in 2 weeks.
You did an amazing job. I mean, you made it really easy on us, but maybe if we just had fewer women to choose from, because let me just say, bachelors in Denver, Colorado, you've got some really great bachelorettes out there.
Yeah. Also, like, bachelors in Denver, Colorado, what are you doing? Because like almost every single one of these women were like, yeah, the dating market sucks, perpetually single, and they are phenomenal women. So like, guys, I don't know what you're doing, but you're screwing it up. You need to take one out of Travis Kelsey's playbook. Maybe make some friendship bracelets.
Yeah, friendship bracelets.
I don't know.
Slacken if you let Tristan, he had dozens of choices to choose from. Like, y'all are slacking if there's so many options for Tristan to have here.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, Jake, if you could just not be as charming and endearing as Tristan, that would be fantastic.
Did you not just see his puppy?
I know. I know. I'm already dreading it. There's going to be like 5,000 entrants.
Yeah.
No, I'm super excited that everything. I will say, with everything that happened, he did end up taking a contestant to the concert. I think that's a completely spoiler-free sentence. So it worked. They haven't gotten married yet, but it has only been 24
Yeah.
hours. So I think it's okay.
Let us know when they get back from Vegas from their top-end wedding, okay?
So, but I can't wait for season 2. We'll just maybe have a little bit of a break between that.
Yeah.
But in terms of, going to Vegas, greatest fantasies, let's talk a little bit about fantasy football. My preferred fantasy.
You mean Josh Allen?
Jimmy Garoppolo is my preferred fantasy. No,
I see that as 1A, 1B.
What just popped into my head will not be repeated. Okay, this is slowly, rapidly going downhill because it has now reached 11 p.m. So that Jake doesn't have to edit out what's about to come out of my mouth, let's talk about fantasy football. And what is fantasy football? If you are coming from the Swift side and you're new to fantasy football, or if you're just new to fantasy football in general, over the next couple episodes leading up to when the NFL season is going to kick off, we're going to be going over what is fantasy football, what are you supposed to do every week, how to run a fantasy football team. So we're going to go over what we know and what we would have loved to know starting out. But if there's any specific questions, just drop them on social media, drop in the Discord, and
we'll throw out a mailbag for y'all. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, that's right. Jake's already ahead of the game. So what is fantasy football? Essentially, fantasy football is like being the manager of your own NFL team, that you get to choose who is on your fantasy football team using real NFL players. And the points come from how those players perform in their real game every week. You're the manager, and usually a league is made up of like 12 to 14, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less people, run by someone called the commissioner. The commissioner is the person who enforces the rules and makes sure that everyone is drafting fairly, running fairly. And that is the general idea of fantasy football. And Jake has some more information on some details.
Yeah, as Leighton said, you are picking real NFL players in a real draft. Aaron Rodgers might just sound like a guy with 2 first names, but he's also an NFL quarterback you could be picking for your fantasy team.
Don't pick him.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that this year. If you listen back to our first couple of episodes, it's not a great idea. But each week you set your starting lineup. You can go through all the players you have and look at the matchups that they have, what team they're playing against, how they've fared the last couple of weeks, whether they're injured or not. And you set your lineup to maximize the amount of points you get. You are earning real points based on their real game stats. Did someone make a catch? That's a point. There's different versions of fantasy football. You'll hear something called PPR come into play. It's a format where it's just anytime someone makes a catch, they get a point for that. So there can be a full point PPR. So you get 1 full point for that. There's half-point PPR, which is half point, and then there's just none of that. Then you can just ignore all of that. So if you hear PPR, don't feel intimidated. It's just like a little bit of a scoring adjustment to that. Is another way you can continue to rack up points throughout the week. And you play against your friends weekly. You rotate the schedule every single week. You will play every single team in your league at least once, depending on how many teams there are, because there's only 18 weeks in an NFL season. Generally 16 max in a fantasy football season, because towards the end of the season rosters get a little wonky. Starters for real NFL teams are sitting out, so they're healthy for the playoffs, and we don't like having fantasy teams get messed up by that. So you generally will play everyone once. There's a playoff structure that ends the season, and eventually someone is crowned the champion.
Can you hear Krista?
Your mic's muted, Krista.
Krista's got great advice. We just can't hear it.
Oh, don't mind me. Yeah, I'm on vacation and the dog was getting a little loud, so I was trying to save you all from that. But I was just talking about the fun part of all of this. So not only is it fun just because, like you said, Jake, you get to play with your friends, but there's also a little strategy involved, some friendly competition. I like to think of it as really getting an opportunity to not just be hyper focused on one team, but getting to be focused on all of them, really getting the opportunity to make the whole NFL exciting. So at the end of the day, it's easy to get into. It does take some time to master, but that's what we're here for. We'll walk you through the whole thing.
Yeah, and so how to get started. You can join with your friends. You can just get some of your friends together if they're interested as well. Start your own league. You can find sometimes your coworkers will put on leagues. You can find a league with your work. Or you can just join a random one online. Just be like, hey, there's a beginner one that I want to join. I'm just going to hop in there. Have some fun. You can also come join us in 13 Sports. We have no leagues open right now, but next year you can catch us.
Beyond football. So if you're listening to this and you are more than just a football fan, we will engage you all year round. Don't you worry.
True that. So yeah, most leagues have 10 to 12 people usually. They can go up to 16. I have heard of 32 people leagues. Those people are psychos, but props to them. And then the platforms, typically ESPN, Sleeper is a very popular one nowadays. I think NFL Fantasy also is a big one. And then Yahoo is another big one. Typically it costs, most of them have like fees to join, and you get a cut if you win. Either you'll get all of it or they'll divide it among the top three. So first, second, and third. But a lot of leagues are free. I know we offer a majority of free leagues, and then we also have paid leagues. And then, drafts usually happen, starting now. They start now and usually run even into the season. I know a lot of leagues typically sometimes start late, so as the season's happening. So
the draft itself can absolutely be scary and intimidating too. We'll have more on how to draft more specifically in the coming weeks. But just a general overview, the most common draft you'll see is something called a snake draft. And what do I mean by that? Everyone sets their draft order. Let's say hypothetically you're in a 12-team league. Your draft order will be set for the first round, where someone has the first pick, the second pick, on and on and on down to the 12th pick. To make things fair, instead of it staying the same way, where then in round 2, the person who had the first pick then also has the first pick now, you go in reverse order. So the person who just picked last in the first round now picks first in the second round, and you work in reverse. And it's called a snake draft because you snake back and forth until your roster is completely filled. And who is on your roster? You get a starting quarterback, you get 2 starting wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, a flex. A flex is an interesting one because it can be a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end. It's kind of like a bonus. I call them ringers in your draft because they can sometimes really make or break your teams. You get a kicker and you get a defense. that's generally what you're going to get. I've seen some leagues adjust these, but that's mainly what you're going to get. You will also have a bench of about 5 players that you want to keep diversified. So if a team isn't playing that week, or if someone gets injured, or if you're just keeping track of the waiver wire and you want to pick up someone who's hot, you can grab someone off of your bench and be ready to go and throw them into your starting lineup and move someone out. There's obviously different ways you can prep for it as well. The beginner ways, you can just go with your gut and the app rankings. You'll see in the app there's something called the average draft position. Each app does it their own way, a little bit differently, but it will generally tell you, hey, you're going to draft 8th. Here's who should be around when you're drafting 8th. So just keep that in mind. If you want to be a little more advanced, go read a quick guide, go scan Twitter and, search fantasy football and see what people are asking. Go listen to some podcasts. Keep listening to our podcast, please. Just, do some reading, ask your friends. Throw on some Scott Hansen and NFL Red Zone during the preseason and just maybe watch some of the games if you really are a diehard and want to get into it. And you're familiar with player names going into it. But that's how the draft works. The draft, it's 60 to 90 seconds per pick. It sounds very intimidating. It can be hectic when you're like, I really wanted that guy, and he just went 2 people before me, and now I have no idea what to do. That's the fun of it. You don't have to panic. Just pivot. This is all just meant for fun. So.
Wait, that needs to go on a shirt. Don't panic, just pivot. That was good.
That was really good.
That was really good.
Sounds like our next merch drop.
I love it. I'm taking notes.
If only I could actually apply that logic and advice to my own drafts, which I think is something that you guys probably want to tune into our next episode, because we at 13 Sports have an admin league. And over this weekend, we're going to be drafting and recording it, taking stock of all the terrible picks, and we're going to be going over it. So tune in next week to see what terrible choices I have made. Most likely Kyle Pitts will end up on my roster at this point. And I know Josh Allen definitely won't, but we're definitely going to have some draft regrets that we want to talk to you about, and help make sure that you don't make those. And, generally, I'll let everyone else talk about how to avoid making panic picks, because I am not good at that. One of the things, though, is that we really are interested in your Swifty fantasy football team names. We would love to hear what names you have. Jake, what's a great place for them to send them?
If you're in our Discord, please put them in our fantasy football chat. If you follow us anywhere on social, I would recommend, try posting it on our wall. If you're in the fantasy football Facebook group or the 13 Sports Facebook group, if you're with us on X, just shoot us a tweet saying, hey, here's my fantasy football Swifty team name. We will curate everything and we'll have a bracket for you real soon.
And our admin league is going in the way of sourdough names now. Is that what we decided?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think we have to pick food names, and we're all
names,
sold on sourdough at this point.
I love except for me.
Except for Celery Man.
Yeah, except for the Celery Man.
Yeah.
I don't think you can make a celery anything taste great, let alone a celery sourdough.
Let me think
I'll
about
try
that.
it.
Well, okay. If there's one person who could make it happen on the admin team, it is Krista, because she is our resident sourdough wizard, and I'm sure we'll have a future segment with her.
I'm gonna think about this.
Hey, if you
But
make
yeah,
it, I'll try
your
it.
challenge on the future is to find a way to make celery taste good. So good luck, but to
Like
fit
a
it into
monster.
sourdough. Yeah, just maybe like a sprig of celery leaves on top for decoration.
Actually,
You sell the seed and you make it like a rye sourdough.
yes, yes, you can.
Yeah, I think I'll stick to blueberry lemon. I am
I don't know. That
hoping
cinnamon
that.
swirl sounds damn good.
Yeah, the cinnamon.
yeah.
Next time I see you, Jake, I will bring you a cinnamon swirl. Our
Thank
our
you.
family favorite is jalapeno cheddar.
Certainly, I'm moving to
Ooh.
Boston soon.
That sounds so good.
Wow. Well, I'm hungry. It's 11:15 and past all of our bedtimes, I'm sure. But we're so happy that you're tuning in. We'd love to know your thoughts on the new album. We'd love to hear your thoughts on fantasy football. Tell us your questions. Tell us your fantasy football team names, Taylor Swift themed or not. And we'll see you next time on the Playbook.